In this video, we're going to be reading the first chapter of the book, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn.
Welcome to the Indigo Room. Serenity ahead.
Here we go, it's the Indigo, sending the best in bliss, yes, so let's go. Bringing brainwaves to a higher plane, manifest your world, shaking the mundane. Shift thought, make moves inspired, change self-worth, words taking you higher. Bring forth your serenity, forget words like destiny. It's the path to choose, it's up to you, so make your move to find the way in you. The touch of sky will mellow high, and spirits rise, and winds will change. So yes, I invite you. So come on through, see how we do in the Indigo Room, yeah.
Welcome to the Indigo Room.
Hey, hi friends, hi family, welcome back to the Indigo Room. I'm your host, Sydney Chase, and this is where we discuss all things spiritual. And by that, I mean that we are non-physical spiritual beings having physical human experiences. Life is supposed to be good, it's supposed to be fun. Sometimes it's wicky-wacky. Even in the wicky-wacky, it should be okay. And if you are a new subscriber to the channel, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, because I know, you know what? You could have subscribed to any place else, but you subscribed to the Indigo Room. So thank you very much for that. For all of my old subscribers, it is good to see you. It's good to be back in the Indigo Room. I have some new content for you today. I hope you enjoy it. If you are new to the channel, thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Also, like the video. Leave us a comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe notification. So, did you get a chance to check out the trailer for our first reading of this wonderful book? Yes, we are going to be reading the Florence Scovel Shinn book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. We're starting out with chapter 1. It's quite a delicious book. I was just going to do a reading like we normally do, like when we go on live and we do a reading. And, you know, I throw in my commentary, we discuss it. And I decided, you know what would be fun, I think, I hope, or I don't know, you might not like it, to do an actual video, bring it to life, so to speak. So I decided to create a little movie, all right? It's not that long, and I think you'll enjoy it. Let me know what you thought about it. Also, what you got out of the reading for chapter 1. Now, if you don't have the book, you can Google it. You can get the PDF. You can read along. If you already have the book, you can read along with us. If you haven't had the chance already, make sure you check out our first meditation video. It is such a delicious video. It is about 20 minutes long. You should see it right up here, little thing that comes across the screen. You can click on that. It is 432 megahertz, which is a healing tone. It's quite delicious, quite relaxing, something that you can meditate to. 20 minutes in the morning before you go to work, and then maybe 20 minutes before you go to sleep at night. Without further ado, I'm not going to do too much talking. I'm going to let the video talk funny. I'm going to leave my commentary after the video. Tell me what you thought about it. If you would like more content like this, make sure you let me know what aha moments you had after the video. You know, I had to go back and reread this book several times, again and again, because, you know, I like to eat books. That's what I say. I'm a book eater. Congratulations to me. I finally graduated. I am a software development engineer. If any of you know of a place that would like to hire me, more, leave me a comment down below or send me an email at theindigoroom2@gmail.com. I'm more focused on the back end, Just saying. I'll see you at the end of the video with my commentary. I hope you enjoy the video. Thumbs up. Please be kind. It took a lot of work. Be nice. Be nice to a sister. Well, I can't see the thumbs down anyway. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It helps the algorithm. It all helps the algorithm. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now and let the video play. See you at the end of the video. Thank you for stopping by. The Game, Chapter 1. Most people consider life a battle, but it is not a battle, it is a game. It is a game, however, which cannot be played successfully without the knowledge of spiritual law, and the Old Testament and the New Testaments give the rules of the game with wonderful clearness. Jesus Christ taught that it was a great game of giving and receiving. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. This means that whatever man sends out in word or deed will return to him. What he gives, he will receive. If she gives hate, she will receive hate. If he gives love, he will receive love. If she gives criticism, she will receive criticism. If he lies, he will be lied to. If she cheats, she will be cheated. We are taught also that the imaging faculty plays a leading part in the game of life. Keep thy heart, or imagination, with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. This means that what man images sooner or later externalizes in his or her affairs. I know of a man who feared a certain disease. It was a very rare disease and difficult to get. But he pictured it continually and read about it until it manifested in his body, and he died, the victim of distorted imagination. So we see, to play successfully the game of life, we must train the imaging faculty. A person with an imaging faculty trained to image only good brings into his or her life every righteous desire of his heart. Health, wealth, love, friends, perfect self-expression, his highest ideals. The imagination has been called the scissors of the mind, and it is ever cutting day by day the pictures man, woman sees there, and sooner or later she meets her own creations in her outer world. To train the imagination successfully, woman must understand the workings of her mind. The Greek said, know thyself. There are three departments of the mind: the subconscious, conscious, and superconscious. The subconscious is simply power without direction. It's all willy-nilly. It's like steam or electricity, and it does what it is directed to do. It has no power of induction. Think about that. Whatever woman feels deeply or images clearly is impressed upon the subconscious mind and carried out in minutest detail. For example, a woman I know, when a child always made believe she was a widow. She dressed up in black clothes and wore a long black veil, and people thought she was very clever and amusing. She grew up and married a man with whom she was deeply in love. In a short time, he died, and she wore black and a sweeping veil for many years. The picture of herself as a widow was impressed upon the subconscious mind, and in due time worked itself out regardless of the havoc created. The conscious mind has been called mortal or carnal mind. It is the human mind and sees life as it appears to be. It sees death, disaster, sickness, poverty, and limitation of every kind, and it impresses the subconscious. The superconscious mind is the God mind within each man and woman, and is the realm of perfect ideas. In it is the perfect pattern spoken by Plato, the divine design, for there is a divine design for each person. There is a place that you are to fill and no one else can fill, something you are to do which no one else can do. There is a perfect picture of this in the superconsciousness mind. It usually flashes across the consciousness as an unattainable ideal, something too good to be true. In reality, it is man's true destiny or destination flashed to him from the infinite intelligence which is within himself or herself. Many people, however, are in ignorance of their true destinies and are striving for things and situations which do not belong to them and would only bring failure and dissatisfaction if attained. For example, a woman came to me and asked me to speak the word that she would marry a certain man with whom she was very much in love. She called him A.B. I replied that this would be a violation of spiritual law, but that I would speak the word for the right man, the divine selection, the man who belonged to her by divine right. I added, if A.B. is the right man, you can't lose him, and if he isn't, you will receive his equivalent. She saw A.B. frequently, but no headway was made in their friendship. One evening, she called and said, do you know, for the last week, A.B. hasn't seemed as wonderful to me. I replied, maybe he is not the divine selection. Another man may be the right one. Soon after that, she met another man who fell in love with her at once and who said she was his ideal. In fact, he said all of the things that she had always wished A.B. would say to her. She remarked, it was quite uncanny. She soon returned his love and lost all interest in A.B. This shows the law of substitution. A right idea was substituted for a wrong one. Therefore, there was no loss or sacrifice involved. Jesus Christ said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And he said the kingdom was within. The kingdom is the realm of right ideas or the divine pattern. Jesus Christ taught that man's words played a leading part in the game of life. By your words ye are justified, and by your words ye are condemned. Many people have brought disaster into their lives through idle words. For example, a woman once asked me why her life was now one of poverty, of limitation. Formerly, she had a home, was surrounded by beautiful things, and had plenty of money. We found she had often tired of the management of her home and said repeatedly, I'm sick and tired of things. I wish I lived in a trunk. And she added, today I'm living in that trunk. She had spoken herself into a trunk. The subconscious mind has no sense of humor, and people often joke themselves into unhappy experiences. For example, a woman who had a great deal of money joked continually about getting ready for the poorhouse. In a few years, she was almost destitute, having impressed the subconscious mind with a picture of lack and limitation. For example, a woman came to me one hot summer's day for a treatment for prosperity. She was worn out, dejected, and discouraged. She said she possessed just $8 in the world. I said, good. We'll bless the $8 and multiply them as Jesus multiplied the loaves and the fishes. For he taught that every man, every woman had the power to bless and to multiply, to heal and to prosper. She said, what shall I do next? I replied, follow intuition. Have you a hunch to do anything or to go anywhere? Intuition means intuition or to be taught from within. It is man's or woman's unerring guide, and I will deal more fully with its laws in a following chapter. The woman replied, I don't know. I seem to have a hunch to go home. I just have enough money for car fare. Her home was in a distant city and was one of lack and limitation, and the reasoning mind or intellect would have said, I know my mind would have said, stay in New York and get work and make some money. I replied, then go home. Never violate a hunch. I spoke the following words for her. Infinite Spirit, open the way for great abundance for so-and-so. She is an irresistible magnet for all that belongs to her by divine right. I told her to repeat it continually also. She left for home immediately. In calling on a woman one day, she linked up with an old friend of her family. Through this friend, she received thousands of dollars in a most miraculous way. She has said to me often, tell people about the woman who came to you with $8 and a hunch. There is always plenty on man's pathway, but it can only be brought into manifestation through desire, faith, or the spoken word. Jesus Christ brought out clearly that man must make the first move. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Matthew 7:7. In the scriptures we read, concerning the works of my hand, command ye me. Infinite intelligence, God is ever ready to carry out man's smallest, greatest demands. Every desire, uttered or unexpressed, is a demand. We are often startled by having a wish suddenly fulfilled. For example, one Easter, having seen many beautiful rose trees in the florist's windows, I wished I would receive one, and for an instant saw it mentally being carried in the door. Easter came, and with it a beautiful rose tree. I thanked my friend the following day and told her it was just what I had wanted. She replied, I didn't send you a rose tree, I sent you lilies. The man had mixed the order and sent me a rose tree simply because I had started the law in action and I had to have a rose tree. Nothing stands between man, woman, and his or her highest ideals and every desire of his or her heart but doubt and fear. When man can wish without worrying, every desire will be instantly fulfilled. I will explain more fully in a following chapter the scientific reason for this and how fear must be erased from the consciousness. It is man's only enemy. Fear of lack, fear of failure, fear of sickness, fear of loss, and a feeling of insecurity on some plane. Jesus Christ said, why are ye fearful, or ye of little faith? Matthew 8:26. So we can see we must substitute faith for fear is only inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of good. The object of the game of life is to see clearly one's good and to obliterate all mental pictures of evil. This must be done by impressing the subconscious mind with the realization of good. A very brilliant man who has attained great success told me he had suddenly erased all fear from his consciousness by reading a sign which hung in a room. He saw printed in large letters this statement, why worry? It will probably never happen. These words were stamped indelibly upon his subconscious mind, and he has now a firm conviction that only good can come into his life. Therefore, only good can manifest. In the following chapter, I will deal with the different methods of impressing the subconscious mind. It is man's faithful servant, but one must be careful to give it the right orders. Man, woman has ever a silent listener at his or her side, his or her subconscious mind. Every thought, every word is impressed upon it and carried out in amazing detail. It is like a singer making a record on the sensitive disc of the phonographic plate. Every note and tone of the singer's voice is registered. If he coughs or hesitates, it is registered also. Like this recording that I'm doing for you. When I hesitate or cough, like it's registered. So let us break all the old bad records in the subconscious mind. The records of our lives which we do not wish to keep, and make new and beautiful ones. Speak these words aloud with power and conviction. I now smash and demolish. See, listen, I have to read that again. I now smash and demolish by my spoken word every untrue record in my subconscious mind. They shall return to the dust heap of their native nothingness, for they came from my own vain imaginings. I now make my perfect records through the Christ within. The records of health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. This is the square of life, the game completed. In the following chapters, I will show how man can change his conditions, or woman can change her conditions by changing his or her words. Any man or woman who does not know the power of the word is behind the times. One of my favorite scriptures. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. Hey, I'm back. Did I scare you? So let's go over a little bit this chapter, chapter 1. One of the things that is first in the chapter is speaking about giving and receiving, right? So whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap, or woman. And I like to use man and or woman interchangeably, because when this was written, it was back in 1925. This means that whatever man or woman sends out in word or deed will return to him or her. What he gives, he will receive, right? So oftentimes we are good senders, we're not good receivers. And oftentimes we're good receivers and we're not good senders. So what we send out, we get back, right? You send love, you get back love. You send happiness and joy, you get back happiness and joy. You send out wicky-wackiness to people, condemnation, criticism, and all that, you'll be condemned and criticized yourself. Inevitably. It may not even be by that person. It may be by somebody else. Somebody that you love. Somebody that you would never, ever expect that to happen. You don't want that to come from that person. But you are out here sending it out. So we have to be mindful of what we're sending out. And I oftentimes have criticized people, and I have to check myself. And I go, oh, my goodness. I call on the law of forgiveness. I meditate on it and send out love and transmute that energy, change that energy. So we all do it. Right? We're all, I don't even want to say guilty, but we all do those things. It is when you are catching yourself in those moments that you have the opportunity to change them. And I know when I'm criticizing somebody, or criticizing a company, or criticizing anybody, or criticizing anything, I catch myself going, it doesn't feel good to criticize, right? You can tell You know, that it doesn't feel good because you're in the moment and you're hot, you're aggravated, you're annoyed, and you get all that stuff going on, the wicky wacky stuff. And then you catch yourself and you go, this doesn't feel good. I don't like this feeling, you know? And you may have got it going. Maybe this is something that you're used to doing and it's something that you're always done and you don't know how to change it. Well, there are ways to change that. We're going to talk about that as we continue reading this book. I love this book. I love this book. It's on page 1. These are just highlights that I, when I read and we read books here on the Indigo Room, I like to go over and add my commentary and what I pick up from it. But one of the things that she was talking about even before Neville, right, was the imagination. And she's saying here, so we see to play successfully, and this is on page 1, the game of life, we must train the imaging faculty. The imaging faculty. What is the imaging faculty? That's our imagination, right? So a person with an imaging faculty trained to image only good brings into his or her life every righteous desire of the heart. Now that is the tricky part right there. Right there is where it gets tricky. All right? Because we're so used to, I don't know how old you are. I don't know where you are in your life, and when we're kids, we can imagine all kinds of wonderful things. It's much easier for us to use our imagination. And as we move, through life and we get older, teenagers and, in our 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, 60s, 70s, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can have the ability to change it. Remember, in the Bible, it says, be ye like little children. What do you think? To me, that means be ye like little children, right? Little children use their imaging faculty very well. We were all doing it very well. Play all kinds of games, create all kinds of things in our imagination. Mama told you, stop using your imagination. Come back to reality. And here we have Neville. Well, not here, but, in our studies, we find that Neville teaches us to get back to using our imagination. And Florence is saying the same thing. She said that your imagination has been called the scissors of the mind, and it is ever cutting day by day the pictures man sees there, or woman. And so one of the things I'm redoing and retraining my mind, right? Because we've been gone for so long, I've been busy doing all kinds of things. So we're getting back into our imagination. Well, I am. I don't know if you are, but if you want to, you can join me, right? To train your imagination successfully. And we've been doing that with Neville, right? The I am statements and some of the Neville techniques that we have used here on the Indigo Room. And to get into your imagination is really, really key. It's very important. So you want to get into your imagination just like you are actually in that moment now. You make whatever moment that you think is going to be in the future, bring it into the now in your imagination. So we'll go over how to do that, the imagination techniques again, or you can listen to some of our previous videos here on the Indigo Room about getting into your imagination. I know when I first read this book back in the 90s, that part I didn't really understand. And I would imagine things, but it was sort of like, I was watching a movie, right? Like I'm watching a TV screen. Now when I imagine, I am fully involved in the whole scenario. I am looking at it as if I'm actually in the moment that I want to be in. And in that now moment, when my eyes are closed, you can't tell me that I'm not driving a new car. You can't tell me that I'm not in my home or my new job or whatever that it is that I'm choosing to do. You can't tell me that that's not real. I can touch, feel, taste, everything. So this is really key, using your imagination. And again, whatever man feels, see, I never got that whole feeling part. Whatever man or woman feels, you got to feel it, reel it. Feel it, reel it. You got to feel it real. feels deeply or imagines clearly is impressed upon the subconscious mind and carried out in minutest detail. And that is on page 8. We hop over to page 9, where it says, Jesus Christ says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you, and said the kingdom was within you. I've often asked people, where's the kingdom of God? And they look up to the sky and, they think it's somewhere beyond. It's within you. You got the kingdom within you. The power is within you. So if we go over to page 10, it says, talking about your words, right? So all of these things work together for your good. By your words, ye are justified, and by your words, ye are condemned. And there is power in the words that you speak. So you do want to pay attention to the words that are coming out of your mouth. The subconscious mind has no sense of humor, and people often joke themselves into unhappy experiences. I'm not trying to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of times that I can backtrack, right? Certain things that I've said or done, and bring it and see where I am now, or where I was, and go back moments, and I can see where I was, speaking a word against myself. So I do try to catch myself as often as possible and, change it up. It's not always easy. Another powerful thing that I enjoyed was on page 11, and it's following your intuition, right? She talked about a woman that just said she had a hunch to go home. Now, see, I've had sometimes I follow my intuition, and then sometimes I second guess my intuition. I try not to anymore. I used to second guess it. I try not to, but there's times when I go, well, is that really my intuition? Ask for something concrete. If you're doubting your intuition, or you're saying to yourself, well, I don't know if I should do that, and you're questioning yourself, you're doubting yourself, right? You're doubting that the messages that you get within. I always try to follow my gut, right? My gut feeling, my intuition. Oftentimes, I would get a feeling, don't go to work today, or stay home, or, do this thing, or go there, or, people look at me like I'm crazy. Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. My intuition said no. Or my intuition said yes. I go, you going? Going to that place? You doing it? Yep, I'm going. And then, I'll meet a person, or something will happen that indicates to me that that was the right choice. That was the right decision. I've had many, many, many experiences like that through my life, and I'm sure you have as well. It's you trusting your own self within. And, many times we've had that beat out of us, right? Don't trust yourself, pay attention to reality. Not that you shouldn't. I'm just saying that, or the intellect or the reasoning mind. And we listened to this story about the woman who felt she had a hunch to go home. She only had enough money for car fare. She didn't have no money, right? But she got a feeling she should go home. So she went home, and so wonderful things happened for her. So if you don't trust what's going on, ask for clarification. Ask Spirit for clarification. Give me a definite lead, a definite sign that this is what I'm supposed to do. And I got to tell you, when that happens, the urging won't go away. It just gets stronger until I do the thing that my intuition is telling me to do. So sometimes that's a clear indication that that's the direction you should go if you're waffling backwards and forwards and you're not sure. And there's infinite intelligence within you, right? God is within all of us. And if we don't pay attention to what's going on within, then, you're going to have wicky-wacky on the outside. Just going to be wicky-wacky all over the place. You have wicky-wackalations. So nothing stands between a woman and a man and their highest ideals and every desire of their heart but doubt and fear. Doubt and fear will take you out every single time. Every time. I'm sure you can look in your own life when you had fear or you had doubt about something. And then, maybe you figured out, okay, I'm just going to stand up to the fear, or I'm going to do it anyway. And, you release the doubt or you release the fear. You've had it, and then you've turned around and things have worked out. That's because you released the doubt or you released the fear. And you went and you did it anyway. That's not moving in fear. A lot of times people say, well, I did it and I was in fear. No, well, you faced your fear, right? Most times fear paralyzes you and you don't do anything, or doubt paralyzes you and you don't do anything. When you are moving, even if you have the doubt or you feel the fear, you're moving in faith. You're moving. Fear paralyzes you. You're not moving. When you are so afraid, you're not doing anything. You're not going forward. You're not going backwards. You're not going side to side. You're staying in one spot. So think about that in your own life. And, how has fear and doubt played a part in your own life? Fear of sickness, fear of lack, fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of insecurity. There's something going on, inside of us. So we're going to come back and read chapter 2, prosperity. We're going to read that next. And life and death is in the power of your tongue. Speak the word. Speak life over your own life. Okay, so what did you think of the video? Did you find any highlights, something that clicked for you, something that would help you as you move along, as we move into the new year? I know I did, and I'm so happy that I decided to reread this book. Make sure you look for the book. I'm going to be an affiliate for Barnes & Noble, and the link will be down below. But again, you can find the book anywhere. You can Google it. You can read it yourself. I highly recommend it. But what I want to know is, what did you think? What did you feel? Leave your comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I would love for you to be here. Now that I'm back, I want you to come back. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the Indigo Room, and of course right here on YouTube. Remember who you are. Remember that you are source energy right here in a physical body. Remember that you can be, do, and have anything you desire. And remember, it's not being extraordinary that makes you unique. It is your uniqueness that makes you extraordinary. Don't forget to share the video too. Share it with your friends. See you on the next video. Thanks for stopping by.